I'm Dave D, and you're watching XP Team. I'm Dave D, and you're watching XP Team USA.
Hi guys, Aaron here. Now if you've got nothing else to do, and I mean nothing else to do, absolutely nothing else to do, why not pop over to YouTube and check out South Coast Detecting.
And I went over to show them.
Sorry, it's DJ.
I think this is what people or toy shop. A little bit too about the situation. I think whatever you actually been involved
I'm on. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Big Metal Detecting. I've got that right, haven't I? Big Metal Detecting, Big Metal Detecting radio and TV show. I'm Dave Sadler, your host as usual. Tonight we're joined by this gentleman, Mr. Gary Cook. He'll be our co-host this evening, and we will be joined shortly by I think everybody's friend, Rick Landacre, and I hope I pronounced that right, Rick, the fat fool from YouTube, our good friend from America. So without further ado, Gary, are you well?
Yeah, I'm fine. I've just been clapping for the NHS guys and everybody else.
Well, I was trying. I couldn't hear anything because the kids are in the back garden banging cans and all sorts.
Lisa was just out the front there, banging on saucepans, and all the neighbours are going as well. I think it's pretty amazing that it goes on all around the country, isn't it? It's pretty cool.
It certainly is. But as I was saying to you off air, Gary, I really believe that clap should be for all the other nurses out there, the ones who aren't getting recognised, because it's obviously the NHS is at the front of the.
Totally agree.
the front of everything at the moment. Anyway, a few things before we start the show.
Yes.
We produced a number of articles this week on the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine, and I mean, Luke and myself have been most busy indeed. We've released, obviously, issue 6 of the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine, which was supposed to be for Detectable, but unfortunately it's only available in PDF format due to us not being able, basically, to be able to fund the magazine in its paper form. So there's that. I'm just waiting. I'm trying to start sharing the screen, but it's not coming up. One of the things that there you go. One of the things that we've unfortunately won't be able to do for the time being, we've had to make the decision that we don't have the podcast. I'll be uploading the sound file to the podcast the next day, but we can't do it live at the moment due to basically everybody's on the internet, everybody's on Netflix, and the internet's getting used something rotten. So because of that, we're unable to do what we normally do, our dual roles. So it will be uploaded tomorrow. Anyway, as you can see, we've got multiple articles. This one here, Lost Relics of the Knights Templar. Now, this is interesting. You two gentlemen there from the programme, Mr. Carl Cookson and Mr. Hamilton, name eludes me, sorry, Hamilton White, there you go. I've actually been in communication. I was on the phone to Hamilton, this gentleman here, for over an hour the other day, and we've come up with a number of things that we're going to be doing together, one of which is this show. And it's got to be filmed at either Carl's house or at Hamilton's own museum. So obviously this is going to be post-lockdown. I've been invited to both houses to have a look around their museums of such, so I'm very excited because
I was going to say, that's, yeah.
Oh, mate, Gary, it's a fantastic program. It really is interesting. Oh, honestly, if you watch the program, you'll understand why I'm so excited.
Yeah, I can imagine.
As I say, we've got numerous other articles up. Some brilliant ones, in fact. A rare Norman coin discovered in Norfolk. This is from Jason Jones, who discovered the Stephen Penny.
I was just about to say that looks like a Stephen Penny.
Yeah, well, it's actually recognised as, I think, the first one that was actually coined in Ipswich.
Right.
So it's the British Numismatic Society have actually got it on their database because they feel it's so important. This is the one I wanted to speak about. I put that picture up a while ago, about a month ago, on Facebook, and we got so many, with 1,093 responses to it, which shows that Garrett and then C-Scope and then Noctamacro were people's first metal detectors. As you can see, I even done some pretty graphs.
C-Scope was my first.
C-Scope was my first, really, if it was passed down from my dad. So, yeah, C-Scope was my first. So you can see, obviously, a pie chart made up of all the percentages of whose first machine was what. So we're going to be following up on that. We're going to be doing another one in the coming days. And as I say, we've got more and more brand new articles on there for people to view. So there's that. So I'll stop sharing and get back to Gary. Gary, how's things in the world of the Rodney Cook Memorial Rally?
Well, first of all, I have to apologise for the hair. It's a lockdown haircut that I have at the moment.
You look like my fatter brother now.
Honestly, I have put on so much weight during this lockdown. It's ridiculous. I know they say the camera adds 10 pounds. Well, I must have about 8 cameras on me. I'll tell you. Looking at it.
Are you wearing a black T-shirt to make yourself thinner?
Mate, seriously, I've got to do something about getting some form of exercise back in me, because this is ridiculous.
I've actually started yoga. I do daily yoga. I can't do it, but I try to do it. And then obviously there's the walking the dogs and whatnot. And honestly, that's me.
Well, last Saturday, I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll get the clippers out and I'll give myself a little bit of a trim, because my hair, I was starting to look like a hippie. I was growing hair and I was going to end up looking like Neil from the young ones. So I thought, I know, I'll get the clippers out and give myself a bit of a trim. It was a very, very bad idea, because I literally went like that, and then suddenly realised what I'd done, and I had a streak going through my head. I had it on number 2, so I ran downstairs, and Lisa was killing herself with laughter, and she said, "Well, come on, let's sort it out." So sat in the middle of the kitchen, and she tidied it up, and now I look like someone back from the mid-70s, like a skinhead, I suppose.
Well, at least she can't pull your hair now, Gary.
No. It'll grow back. I'm on a lockdown for another 3 weeks at least, so it's going to grow back. But as I say, apart from putting on weight in the hair, the Rodney Cook, well, it's not a lot of difference from when we last spoke, Dave, when we did the show back in March. As far as we know at the moment, we're still going ahead. Things are going to go, we're just taking it literally day by day, and we will, as far as we know, we're going to go ahead in September unless the powers that be dictate otherwise. We're still 4.5 months away from the rally, so fingers crossed, that it goes ahead. But obviously, like I said to you before, mate, if the things dictate against us and we can't go ahead, then we won't hesitate then to call it off, because at the end of the day, the safety of everybody attending, the safety of all of my fellow organisers and the families of those people are the utmost of importance to us, obviously. And it means that we'll postpone until next year, and anyone who has a ticket for this year's event, if they want to, they can effectively use that ticket for this year for next year, so it will be honoured for next year. If obviously somebody can't think that far ahead and they would rather have their money back, then they have a refund. The same is if it does go ahead and there are people out there who'd rather not come, they can still have a refund. So we're going to cover every base. We're going to make sure that there's nobody's going to be upset. As I say, if it goes ahead and they want to come, fantastic. If they decide they don't want to come, they can have a refund. If they want to transfer their ticket to next year, they can. And if it gets cancelled, all tickets that have been bought and paid for this year's event are valid for next year if they so wish. So, but we're hoping that it goes ahead. We've still took bookings. People are still booking up for it. So it would be fantastic if it went ahead. We've all had such an awful time, and all these poor people who have lost their lives, and it's such a horrible situation we find ourselves in. But if it does go ahead, it would be a great way of getting everybody back out into the fields again, wouldn't it? To come to the first big rally and have detective all back on as well. It would be fantastic if we could do it. It really would. But we don't make the decisions, Dave, do we? It's the powers that be. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is everybody's health and safety. That's the most important thing. And if it doesn't happen this year, there's always next year.
There certainly is. Well, we'll be there. Whatever happens, me and Luke will be there.
You'll definitely be there, mate. You'll be at the head of the queue. You'll be at the front.
I don't know about the head of the queue. I'll be head of the queue for one of them coffees.
But the one thing I would say is the support that we get from everybody. We're actually getting people messaging me now. Well, not at this precise moment, but we're getting people messaging us pretty much every day saying, look, guys, if it doesn't go ahead, we're not going to cancel on you. We won't want our money back. We'll use it for next year. There's the support that we get is incredible, and I know I say it a lot, and people are probably sick of me saying it, but I bow down and to everybody who attends the Rodney Cook, because they're such amazing people. Everyone who helps me and all the other guys, Dave Crisp, who does what he is, the Rodney Cook, Dave Crisp. Without him, we wouldn't be able to have a rally. But everyone who helps are just absolutely fantastic, and the support that we get from all the people who are attending, they're just brilliant people. And I always end when I put posts up on behalf of Rodney Cook, saying how much we love you all, and we think the world of everyone who attends, because they're just brilliant people. And it would be a shame if it didn't happen, but at the end of the day, it's an awful time at the moment. We've got hundreds of people dying every day. So metal detecting really does take a back seat in situations like this. You put the telly on and they say, there's, oh, thanks, Keith. You put the telly on and you see hundreds of people dying. It's awful. It's awful. And we raise money for the National Health Service, and I've always spouted off to all of you guys over the last few years of doing this rally how much I love the NHS for what they did for my dad when he was going through his treatment. But what they're doing at the moment, putting their life on the line to help people and support people, with absolutely amazing. That's why I've joined up to be a National Health supporter. So if my phone goes off and it's an alarm, I've got to shoot because I've got to go off and deliver some prescriptions or something. But I didn't think twice about it. I do. We obviously, the Rodney Cook raises thousands of pounds every year for the National Health, for the cancer division. But next year, we're going to see if we can just carry on raising money for the National Health Service. Not in the same league is the captain with his amazing achievements, but what we do at the Rodney Cook is a small part of what the National Health need. But you know what? I'm proud of every single one of all of you guys out there, from you, Dave, and Luke, who help support it, to all the metal detecting companies. I keep saying it every time. I'm on. You probably get sick of me saying it, but I don't care. I'm just going to keep saying how much we appreciate the support that you guys give us, from the manufacturers to everything. But let's just keep our fingers crossed that we can go ahead in September. And as I said before, if it does, and we're out of lockdown, and we've got the green light to go ahead, I think it would be an amazing, achievement to get it on this year. But if it does happen, it would be great for all the detectorists who've been out on lockdown for such a long time to finally get out, and a great way of celebrating the NHS, to help raise a few more £1,000 for them through what we do at the Rodney Cook. It would be a fitting way of metal detecting to show how much we support the NHS by coming to the Rodney Cook rally and trying to beat last year's target and raise as much money as we can. But as I say, if it doesn't happen this year, it'll happen next year.
Well,
Definitely.
It's an honour on mine and Luke's behalf. It's an honour being a part of that, Gary. So
it means even more now. It means even more now, doesn't it, mate? Let's be honest.
It certainly does.
With what we see these guys doing every day, putting their lives on the line to help people, it shows that what we do with the Rodney Cook rally to help support the NHS, it means even more now to see it every day on the TV, to see what these poor guys and girls are doing. And they don't even think about it. They just get up in the morning, go to work, and like you say, kudos to them. It's just no words can express, I don't think, how much we should be thankful for what these guys are doing, girls are doing, because without them, I don't want to swear, but we'd be effed. We really would.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, anyway, Gary, without further ado, shall we bring on our guest for tonight, who is obviously a big supporter of the Rodney Cook Memorial, because he travels all the way from America to take part. So, ladies and gentlemen, our guest for this evening is Mr. Rick Landaker, or Rick Landaker. Rick, how do you pronounce it?
Oh, Rick. Oh, wait, my guys aren't done finishing getting me ready for my makeup and stuff. My makeup artist. Hey, what's up? This is the Fat Fool. What up?
How are you, Rick?
I'm good.
How you doing, Rick? All right. Good to see you again, mate. Good to see you.
Can you hear Gary now?
Hey, yeah, I can hear him. I hear him good.
Marvellous. Everything's working now.
Yeah, everything's working. Good.
Couldn't ask for better. How's
good to see you again.
How's life in the USA at the moment, young man?
It's rough. We're on house arrest right now. So.
Whereabouts in America are you?
Yeah, I'm in Farmington, Missouri.
Right.
I'm like about an hour from St. Louis, Missouri.
I'm with you. People saying hi to you in the chat room.
Hi, everybody.
Rick, I'm sure you can see things popping up in the bottom. Messages of people. Put the glasses on.
I'll join you. There you go, Rick. I'll put mine on as well.
There we go.
Mine are in. Luke, put the messages on. Luke will bring him up there. Oh, he's gone again. So, how long have you been under house arrest in America then?
Like how long? Probably about at least a month. We've been on house arrest.
So around the same time as ourselves, and obviously no metal
How
detecting in that time.
How does it
no
work?
metal detecting.
How does it work over there, Rick? Are you allowed to go out, obviously shopping and things like we are here, but only allowed out if it's for essentials?
Yeah, we can go out, and if the police catch you, just going out for twice, if they'll catch you once, they'll take your name, and if they catch you twice in a week, they'll give you $1,000 fine.
Wow.
Really?
So yeah, and it was funny when I was reading the paperwork, that they get, there's a whole thing, the new ordinance and stuff, and it was saying that you can do this, that, and that, and that you have to stay in your house. But the homeless, it doesn't apply to the homeless. They don't have to stay in their house because they don't have a house. It doesn't apply to them. And I'm like, well, bless their hearts, they don't have to stay in their house. But yeah, everybody else, if you're caught outside of your house and the parks are all closed, you can't go in the parks.
Yeah,
so that
pretty
kills
much
me because I can't metal detect.
Yeah, it's very much the same here. We're under instructions not to metal detect as well. So but that's
sadly, Gary, how many people are actually going out and about metal detecting?
Well,
idiots and thinking they're better than the bloody government's.
Well,
they say.
At the end of the day, obviously we can't tell people what they can and cannot do. My personal opinion is I won't metal detect during this. I don't feel happy about it. I don't feel right about it. Obviously, the NCND have suggested that we don't go out, obviously. And if you've got to drive to a permission, I can understand the argument that it's an unnecessary journey. So if your car breaks down, if you're in an accident, you're tying up the police, maybe the fire brigade, ambulance service. And if they ask you why you were out, well, I was going metal detecting, you can't really use that as an illegitimate excuse. My personal opinion is it's not, the fines aren't going anywhere. They've been there for thousands of years, hundreds of years. Go and find them when this is all over. And yes, you might have a permission next door and you can walk into it. But, I know some people say it's for their mental health and they're going stir crazy, but come on, I think we need to sort of look at the bigger picture here. And I'm not going to be one to dictate to people what they can and cannot do. I can only tell you what I personally feel, and that is, I personally feel I'm not going metal detecting, and I'm going to sit it out with the rest of us. And as Rick says, be under house arrest. I've put on loads of weight being stuck in the house. I'm eating loads. Yeah, but it's not going to go on forever. Hopefully,
you guys have your yards. I mean, literally, you can metal detect your yards. You'd be shocked at what you'd find. I guarantee you, there's 5 coins in everybody's yards. When I go to England, I door knock and I metal detect people's yards there. And well, you guys call them a garden. But I guarantee you, you will find coins in those. I found a 1889 French coin, and it was so cool. And because Nick's like, well, I don't think you'll be able to get anybody to let you do their gardens. I'm like, yeah, well, I'll knock, because I don't mind when they cuss at me, because I enjoy it when the English cuss at me. It makes me feel so fun. I like to say it again, one more time. Say it. One more time, I like it. Say it. Just one more time. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy when you tell that.
Rick,
say it one more time.
My garden's fully patioed. I've got no grass.
But like in the front, and like, it's just so great. I just love it. It makes me happy.
I tell you what, Rick, I have actually got a hammered coin in my back garden you can come and find, because I put it there ages ago as part of a test bed, and I can't find it. So I'm rubbish at metal detecting.
We actually reported last week somebody in Stoke-on-Trent were doing the garden, and he found a gold angle. So there you go.
Yeah. See, I mean, because like people drop stuff all the time, around here. That's how I make my money to go places. That's how I make it to England. I won't be able to go to England this year because I can't go out and find any stuff. They won't let me go.
I tell you what, if I tried digging up my back garden, my wife Lisa would literally hung, drawn, and quarter me. If I started digging up her lovely grass.
Oh, you should. I mean, I can go into a city park or anything, and you wouldn't even know I was there. I can dig in there, and you wouldn't even know I dug a hole. You know, I mean, you know, my stuff's so pretty. It is. You should see. You know, I put on one of my last things, my holes on how to do it. Yeah.
Do you know, Rick? All week I've been expecting you to come on in a wig. You know.
Yeah. Well, I sent it to my my nephew's girlfriend because she does wigs. My meatloaf wig, you know, and I sent it. She was supposed to fix it for me because I messed it up. And she was supposed to fix my meatloaf wig. So, yeah.
Anyway, Rick, how many years have you been metal detecting?
Oh, man, for a long time. Long time. You know, I used to, when I was younger, I had like a little bounty hunter, you know, and then I stopped. And then, you know, and then when I lost my job at the airport because our airlines, you know, shut down. And then I lived at Woodland Lakes. So then I got serious. So I went ahead and I started using my bounty hunter really good to start finding stuff because, you know, I was hungry. So then that's when I started getting serious with a metal detector. And then I didn't want to be able to you know, I wasn't going to buy a new metal detector until I found a ring. And I said to myself, you can't have another metal detector until you find a ring. So, you know, now if I took you around and shown you how many metal detectors I have, because you know, I go for, you know, 1 year I had 28 rings, you know, the year before 44 rings, you know, and that's how I support myself to go to England because I go find rings. That's my job. And then I sell them because, you know, I don't care.
What's your favorite metal?
My favorite, favorite metal detector is the Garrett AT Gold. He's my ringmaster. I mean, he just finds them. So, and then I've been playing with the Simplex a lot, you know, because I told Dialec I would take it to on the cruises. I went, you know, the party with the Fat Fool in January. I took, you know, if anybody wanted to go, they could go party with me. So a few people went, you know, and we went on a cruise through the Bahamas. We hit the Grand Caymans, we hit Cozumel, and we hit. We hit a few places like that, trying it out. It did really well in that kind of saltwater, you know, because you know the beaches are real nice.
I wanted to ask you about your cruises later on, Rick. How did that come about?
Oh, I just wanted to know if anybody wanted to go, you know, on a cruise because I liked cruises. So, and then I just invited people to go, and I picked to leave out of Miami because it was the cheapest port for people from England to be able to come over because I was thoughtful.
So how many people how many cruises have you done now with guests?
I did 3 that month, you know, because I had some other friends that they wanted some cheaper cruises, so I ended up doing some cheaper cruises. So
excuse me for being naive on your cruises. So they are what they are. You get on a boat, you go off on a cruise, and then when you stop at a port or you stop off at a location from the cruise, you then go off and do some metal detecting. Is that basically what happens?
Yeah, then we go hit. Yeah, then we'll go hit a beach that I've already got permission. I'll go ahead and you know get permission for us, and then we just metal detect around, you know, hit around the chairs and stuff, and you know I tell people stay 3 feet away from the people. You know, go out into the water. You know, just have fun. You know, go towards the stairs. Just keep on going towards those stairs. Go towards the restrooms. Keep looking. Listen.
Rick, that's absolutely fantastic idea. I think you're the only person I've actually heard of who's doing that. It's a great idea.
Yeah, I get 44 rings a year. I sell them. Oh, and then but the funny thing is if I can, let me see if I can find a little booger. I didn't sell it yet.
What's the most expensive ring you've ever found, Rick?
I got a $10,000 ring.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. But you want to see something funny? You want to see something funny? I found this. I was metal detecting at nighttime, and because I was at nighttime because the boat hit there at nighttime, and I had, I was using the simplex with the light. So I grabbed the sucker, I found it, and I thought, what, it's a piece of junk. So I threw it in with my quarters, not quarters, but the coin bag, because I thought I was going to put it in I have a little treasure chest, and I put all my little fake jewelry in there, because it's my treasure chest, so it looks sparkly, So I thought it'd be fun to have, And so I was sitting here, and I turned on my thing, and I was going to go to Facebook, and I'm sitting there before, but you have all the stuff on there, and it's telling you the news, and it has the pop-ups, and these earrings popped up, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's like I've seen those earrings before, or I've seen that before, and I ran over and I grabbed my finds bag, because I, from the cruise, and I'm like, I pulled out a handful of all these nasty quarters and stuff with sand and everything. And I'm like, where's that earring? So I kept looking, and then I got my little spray thing. I'm like, spraying it. I'm like, holy moly, it's this, I think it's the same damn thing. It's an Effie earring. It's 18 karat gold. I threw it in there with the junk shit. What did I do?
I probably would.
And if I had both of them, it'd be worth $1,000.
Really? So the $10,000 ring. What type of ring was it? Was it diamond or?
It was a big old huge diamond ring. Some lady, she was all freaking out and stuff, and asked, put out a big reward and stuff, and said anybody who could find it and stuff. And I was like, I'll go get it. I'll find it. So, at first I was like, I was watching the show, and I'm like, it has to be after the show, but then I'll go find it. And then they're like, no, could you come out? No, not till after the show, because it's on TV, and it's not, I don't have it on DVD or anything. So, and they kept freaking out, and they kept calling. I'm like, what? The show's not going to end any faster if you keep calling. I says, it'll still be there when I get there. So I went over there and I got it and stuff. And then, she gave me $500 for finding it. And I'm like, oh, you don't have to do that, but I'll take it because I'm home. That was when I lived in the cabin in the woods. So I was all happy. I was like, yeah.
That's amazing. Fantastic. Yeah.
So what's the best thing? Yeah. Sorry, Gary.
No, I was going to say to you, Dave, we do something similar. We have a lot of detectorists over here do ring finding services, don't we? For farm machinery parts and things. It's a good way of picking up permissions over here. Is if a farmer's lost a machine part or something, you can go and find it for him, and you see it in the papers a lot. In a lot of the clubs that we on Facebook. People have lost rings, and detectorists have gone and found them for them. So do
you know what the oddest one of them that I had to do was find his water shut-off point because I couldn't remember where it was. But,
did you find it?
Yeah. It was next to the place where it was supposed to be. Went all over the place looking for it. It was next to the place where it was supposed to be in the first place. It's like, oh yeah, didn't realise.
Yeah.
Sadly, I work with him as well. So, but I did get, as you say, I did get permission, and I'd have been down there now, but for the lockdown.
Well, the funniest one I had once was a mate of mine a few years ago asked me. He'd lost a ring that was meant an awful lot to him. So he lives in a place. He's got a little wood at the bottom of his garden, and So of course he said he was out chopping some wood or cutting up and brushing up. So we spent 2 hours literally going through this whole area like a fine tooth comb, backtracking everywhere that he'd been, to the point where we literally ran out of anywhere we could go. And I'm pretty certain I covered the whole area and I hadn't found this ring. So I turned around to him and I said, Vince, come on, mate. I said, where else? There must have been somewhere else you'd been. He said, well, I did clear out the chicken coop. I went, right, okay. So we went in the chicken coop, scanned the area, not in there. So the last resort, he's got this bag of chicken crap, basically, all the dirt and the crap that he'd scraped up from the chicken coop in this black plastic bag. And I said, well, I'm not putting my hands in there. I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get me pinpointer out and I'll go around the edge of the bag. Literally put my pinpointer against the bag, beep, 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 beep. And I said, well, you open it up. He opened it up, and what was in the bag? The ring. So it was process of elimination.
Heck yeah.
Chicken crap.
Yeah. Those
So-
pinpointers are wonderful.
What of all the finds that you've had, Rick? Obviously, the $10,000 ring will be up there. But what would you be your most memorable find?
Oh, it's my. I have to say it's my. My toga thing that I got last year.
Oh,
my
Roman
fibula.
brooch.
Yeah, my fibula. Yeah, because when I got it, I kept yelling toga, 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 and then the guy comes over and he said, "Oh, hold on, no, it's only a fibula. It's only a fibula. It's just a fibula. It's not a token. I said I didn't say a token. I said toga, toga, toga.
Obviously, never seen Animal House.
Yeah, I know. I was excited. That's like toga. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's my favorite.
Yeah, Rick.
It must be.
Still got them, Rick.
Yeah.
Still here.
Yeah.
There you go.
I like it.
Presents off Rick last year.
See? Yeah, but I always like to. Oh no, it's a fibula. He found a fibula, not a token. I was like.
It must be lovely though to come over to England and metal detect and don't get me wrong, I love I've got a passion for the American Civil War, and I would love to go and hunt around a Civil War area, battlefield or something like that in America. And I've got a chance because a friend of mine, Grant Hansen from the XP Team USA group, I'm supposed to be going to the States in July. It depends on everything else.
Yeah.
And there's a day put aside where Grant's going to pick me up and take me metal detecting, looking for Civil War buckles and things. So that'd be
fun.
It'd be fantastic for me. But I was going to say for you, Rick, it must be lovely coming over to England and getting the chance to search for things like your Roman fibulas and things like that.
Oh yeah, that's the only time I relic hunt. Because other than that, I'm just park hunting, and I clean out the school stuff. In my metal detecting bag and stuff, I use the Fat Fool 4000, which is a powerful magnet to pull out bobby pins and stuff that have broken and stuff that'll hurt the kids, and nails and stuff, because they use wood chips in our playgrounds. So so I it's just not metal detection for me too. When I'm doing the playgrounds, yes, I will keep the rings, and yes, I will keep the coins, but yes, I do take out every piece of metal in there, so they don't get hurt.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
But yeah, so, and I get called by most of the little schools. They call it, "Are you gonna come and do the school yet?" One of the kids got hurt, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'll come. I'll come. Which one is this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be on my way."
Well, we're
So
going to
yeah,
have
because
a short break, gentlemen. Luke's going to play some adverts, so you can go for a wee or get a drink or
All right.
whatever, and we'll be back momentarily. I think it'll be any second now, but we'll keep chatting until he puts them on. I'd actually forgot. I forgot.
I'm Dave D, and you're watching XP Team USA.
I went over to show the lads.
Sorry ass DJ.
I think this is what people need, or a toy shop. A little bit cool about the situation. I think the you actually been involved with.
Hi guys, Aaron here. Now if you've got nothing else to do, and I mean nothing else to do, absolutely nothing else to do, why not pop over to YouTube and check out South Coast Detecting?
How good is that new video? The new Big Metal Detecting radio show and TV show video. Absolutely. Well done, Luke. Remarkable.
Yeah, it's cracking.
Need that ASAP.
Yeah.
Is our here he is. There
He's
he
back.
is. He's back.
Here I am.
Here he is.
I'm here. I got my iFind hat, or we could go with this hat.
Well, if anyone's noticed, I've worn about 6 hats tonight already.
I could do with one to cover this barnet up, or lack of barnet.
Yes. I think we need to take a photograph and superimpose a hat on you.
Yeah.
Anyway, where are we? Anyway, where are we? Back to Rick.
Hey,
Hi, Rick.
look at me. Yeah, on the cruise ship, there's a slot machine over there, and goes, "Hey, look at me." I like that machine.
Have you got a cat?
No, I live in an apartment complex. I actually have a rooster.
Oh wow!
I have. Yeah, how many
Does it
people?
does it wake you up in the morning?
Oh shit! Roosters crow 24 hours a day.
I bet you're popular. I bet you're popular with your neighbours.
I'm the manager. I'm the one they complain to.
I thought I can hear a cat purring somewhere.
Oh no, that's my dog sleeping underneath there. That's Vinny. He's sleeping.
That sounds like that.
There he is.
But Lisa sounds like that when she's asleep.
I thought it was more either a cat purring or a jackhammer.
I hope Lisa stopped watching. I hope my wife stopped watching this show because she snores like that.
It's all right. I'll message you later, Gary.
I got lots of animals here.
Anyway, you two gentlemen, you might be able to assist us. We're doing a special show on Sunday. Mr. Aaron Weedle, myself, and a gentleman called Tony Eccles, who's the curator for the Royal Albert Memorial Museum in Exeter. Now, me and Tony have knew each other for years. Now, what it is, before I started doing this and the magazine and what have you, I was involved in the paranormal. I was a parapsychologist. So obviously done a lot to do with the paranormal. I was sub-editor of a magazine called Phenomena Magazine. Published a few books regarding the paranormal. Mr. Weedle, also a paranormal investigator in the...
There he goes.
Investigator in the paranormal in the past. He also had a book called Paranormal Chichester and Beyond. done. Tony, as well as what I mentioned about him, he's the former chairman of the British UFO Research Association and Merseyside Anomalous Research Association. So we're doing a show because there's been a lot of people said to us in the past, oh, I had a weird experience, I had a weird paranormal experience, I saw this. So I'm having one now.
You're having one now,
We're doing a show on Sunday night, a special regarding people who've had peculiar experiences while metal detecting. So if either of you have had a paranormal or weird experience or... He's broke me. Rick's broke me.
Blank it out.
I can't remember what I'm on about. Who cares anymore? Anyway, we're doing a live show, and if anybody's got any information that they'd like to join in with us, please, on the Big Metal Detecting Radio and TV Show Facebook group, there's a post on there for you to add your information to. So
I remember reading an article years ago about a couple of people were metal detecting in the field, and they suddenly could hear a battle going on, swords clashing and men screaming, and they didn't realise that they were detecting not far from where a famous Civil War battle had taken place. Not actually on the actual field, obviously, because that would be illegal. But they were nearby, and they could swear blind. They could hear the sounds of men screaming and swords and muskets going off.
Well, we've got a few articles, the memoirs of a metal detectorist that we'll be going to, where he's had experiences in the, we're talking 70s probably, them experiences, and there'll be... Can I say?
Stop looking at my
Can
cock.
I say?
Stop
Rick's
it.
showing us his cock.
Yeah, you can get away with that.
It's not very big. It's one of the smallest cocks in the world. They are the smallest in the world. They're Surmas.
And what's the
Those
name
are-
of your cock?
Apparently, it's not size that matters. It's what you do with
It's
it.
just the way. They're Surmas, and his name is Hey Hey, and her name is Moana. Hey Hey and Moana.
Are they going to speak to us live or not?
They might. You never know. The babies will.
Looks a bit camera shy.
Babies, here they come. Oh, babies! But those are barred rock hens. Those are going to be my egg layers. I got a big thing in the back. I went ahead and set up for them.
So. Oh, you've got a chicken run.
Yeah, I'm setting it up. I went ahead and I had a dog kennel back there because one of the neighbors' dogs kept chewing on the wire. So I went ahead and I bought a dog kennel and put it back there, hoping they would put their dog in there. And then they didn't do it. So then they got rid of their dog. So I said to myself, I'm going to go ahead and get chickens. And so I did. So
back to metal detecting, Rick. Do you still get the same buzz metal detecting now as you used to?
Oh, shit, I love the metal detect. I love it.
One more time.
I mean, I metal detect, the same little area right here. We got this little, where the dogs poop and stuff. I go pick up the poop and then I metal detect it, even though I metal detected it. And then, I still just kind of play around. Sometimes I'll bury a coin just to go find it again. And I'm like, and then I get all excited. Oh my God, I got me a quarter.
So it is beach detecting your thing, Rick? Is beach detecting
your
thing?
I love beach detecting is awesome because you don't ever have to bend over in beach detecting if you have the right tools.
Yeah.
Oh, you never bend over ever.
Because obviously, I got some friends over here who love going out on the beaches and things, and I suppose a lot of people get it completely wrong. You've got to read the beach, haven't you? You've got to learn the tides, and you've got to learn the areas to go. And if you have like a storm, go out onto the beach after the storm, because obviously it's ripped apart. It's ripped off a lot of the top layer of the sand, and you get to the old stuff. You know, a good friend of mine, Paul Bancroft, he's very good at beach detection. He reads the beaches. And do you have to do that in the States? You know, do you certain times of day that you'll go onto the beach?
Well, yeah, there is different times and stuff, but you know, like when you're doing a cruise, you're kind of stuck. When you get there, you're stuck doing So what I do is, depending on when I hit the area, I look at what I got, and then I just kind of hunt what I can. So I mean, you know, I can dry sand hunt just as well as I can when the water goes down. You know, because I can still do that, you know, because that's still a really wet sand when the water goes down. I can hunt that just as good, or I can go in the water and hunt it, or I can go ahead and dry sand hunt and just go with where people have walked and stuff. So there's, I mean, you know, I can, you know, and I can tell people, I'll be like, I would do this section here, you know, or I would do that volleyball court over there, you know, and you know, and I'll do a lot of trash too for like, if I hit a resort, I'll do a lot of trash, you know, because I do it for the beach too and for the environment too. I mean, it's kind of, you know, I hate to say it, I do a lot for the environment, and you know, so, and because you know, now that I'm getting older and stuff, I want more for the environment too. So I don't know. And then, you know, I don't know, I'm getting old and crazy, I guess, but yeah. So, and I get excited taking trash out. I don't know why, but I do. And then
we all
I'm like,
under lockdown at the moment, Rick. It's the highlight of my day is bringing the bins back in. It's every time I get to go out.
So I can't, when I go back, I'll be just as excited, you know, because I love pulling out cans and pulling out that stuff, you know, because it's like, it's bad for like the sea turtles, you know, because they get hurt when they come in and hit that stuff. So,
yeah,
you know, I like it. And plus, you know, you never know. You're always going to, you know, you can get something anyways.
Yeah, I can imagine it's, you know, if you find loads of rings, I can imagine, you know, getting an expensive one. It's going to get the juices flowing.
Because aluminum and lead are, you know, you want those two. You're going to pull that stuff up every time. Anyways, you know, you want it. You want aluminum and lead every time. So, because, you know, they're both good metals. Pull them. So, you know, don't leave them just because it sounds, you know, when you hear it and it's big, you're like, oh, it's a can. I don't want it. I'll pull it. Just pull it.
Yeah.
You know, just go for it. Save the environment.
I haven't done an awful lot of beach detecting, to be fair. I'm more where I live. You know, I'm probably an hour from the nearest beach, so I don't tend to go out doing an awful lot of metal detecting on the beach. I'm more of a land sort of detectorist, which I think 90% of detectorists in the UK probably are. But have you done much? Have you done much, Dave?
I can't stand it. We used to go every year to my wife's cousin's caravan in Anglesey, which we're going to supposed to be going to a cottage next month, but obviously that's not going to happen now. And I always say with metal detectors, there's a beach in Anglesey which is very well known for a shipwreck, which gold keeps popping up from the shipwreck every now and again. But for me, I can't get my head around it at all. The noises on the machine, I can't get my head around. It's just an absolute nightmare. I'd love to be able to. I mean, on exactly the same beach I was on a couple of years ago, I was talking to a guy I met, metal detectorist from Yorkshire, and a couple of weeks before the same beach, he'd pulled up a platinum ring, which was worth a fortune. But I can't get my head around it, especially when I'm getting clumps of crap that people have buried. I can't be dealing with that at all. It winds me up.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not a fan of beach detecting. Each to their own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. As I say, I've done bits of it, but I living so far away from an hour. to us that's a distance. I suppose when you're in America, an hour's drive is nothing, is it really?
No, I'm far. I'm far from a beach. I fly. I have to fly. I fly and go on cruises and do it.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
way to do it, right there.
I'd like to get. I'd like to sort of have a a proper cover. What machine? What's he got on his head now? It's his chicken. Almost, right?
It's got to be a chicken.
Yeah.
I got chickens right there, right in front of me.
What machine?
Come
do
on,
you
who
find,
wants to do?
What machine do you find works best on the beach for you, Rick?
Well, the thing is that my AT Gold can't go
That's too
near
bad.
salt water, so I have to. I was using my Equinox, so but then the Equinox, I didn't use it this year because I told her I would use the Simplex, and I actually like the Simplex on the salt water.
Mm.
So I think the Simplex is going to be my machine and I did take the Equinox just in case, as my backup because I always take a backup, And I remember when I went to England and stuff, and Dave was there when I went there, and Karen and them and Richard were like, "Why do you have two machines?" I'm like, "Well, shit, my house is real. It's like 5,000 miles that way. It's like way far away. If my machine breaks, I want to have a backup,
Yeah.
So, I have a backup, for my backup. So,
Well,
Do you
yeah,
come
but,
with-
any of the events that you come to in the future, Rick, obviously, please feel free to leave any of your spare machines. We'll look after them for you while you go off and gallivanting, and then you can pick it up at the end of the day.
yeah, yeah.
Saves you carrying them both.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because it was like, because it's like, man, you need to have an extra machine. And everybody says, well, how everybody likes like the Equinox and all these other ones that have the internal battery. I want to have at least one machine that you can put batteries in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause that's why I love my little AT Gold. I mean, I have the Max too. Everybody's like, then KG and them are always saying, well, Rick, you got the Max. Why don't you use the Max? I'm like, I like the Max. Don't get me wrong. And I slapped on a small coil, and it made me happy. And I like the Max too. But me and the Gold, we just, I mean, me and him are just like, we just go hand in hand. We just understand each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
And the Gold, it gives me a little more depth. The Gold does, but I just prefer the other one.
Yeah.
So.
I think once in a while you come across a machine that you really connect with.
Yeah.
I've been through a lot of machines in the past when I first started, and then I came across XP, and I started using XP machines, and then about 10 years ago, I was introduced to the Deus, and I've never used anything since.
No.
I've never had a need to change. The Deus, a lot of people who know me know how much I love the Deus and how much I love XP machines. And I've used nothing but since. And I've still got my Gold Max Power. You could say that's my backup machine. But I've never, since using the Deus, I've connected with it, and I can appreciate what you're saying. I've just, me and the Deus are like, are like one when we're out in the fields now, and I'm tuned into it completely.
No.
I'm had a message today off DHL to say my new Simplex is being delivered tomorrow, which I can't wait for, because obviously me being a simpleton when it comes to the ability to use a metal detector and getting all confused by it, it's obviously the one to try, being the Simplex for a reason. And you could comment on this, Rick. Is it as simple as stated?
Oh, it is. I opened it up and put it together, and then I took it over to a park, and just tried it out, and I got I got like a what was it? Some kind of a little thing off of a pair of jeans, a penny, a ring, I mean, and I didn't even even try to figure out read it or nothing. And I mean, it was that simple. It was a turn on and go machine. Literally, just I didn't even figure out the buttons. And then by the end of the day, I had that sucker down to being able to pinpoint, exactly where it was, like within inches. I mean, it was that easy.
It sounds
So-
like the Simplex is the machine for me. I mean,
Yeah.
as you were talking about machines that you've bonded with, mine was the Xterra 705. And I upgraded to the E-Track and sold the X705 before I decided that the E-Track was just far too confusing for me. The Rutus has been working brilliantly for me. I've been working with Tony Kaywood's settings from Team Rutus UK. But again, the machine itself, because it's got 71 frequencies and so many settings, I'm unable to do anything other than work to Tony's settings themselves. So I want something that is simple. Hence the discussing with Dilek and being able to obviously take a delivery tomorrow and looking forward to. Shut up, man! Coming out of the open and playing with it, not the cock.
Yeah, but
I think sometimes you can overcomplicate metal detectors. I think most machines you could literally get out of the box, and if you've got a basic understanding of how to put the metal detector on, you could get out and detect. And I think you can get suckered in very easy to this. What are the best settings? What's the ultimate settings I need? What's the best program on this planet? What is the best machine out there? I want the best. I need the best machine. I want, but I think sometimes the factory settings that are in a machine in the first place have been set up by the manufacturers who invented and have made the machine. So their settings aren't going to be that bad. So it's like the Deus, for instance. You've got Deus Fast, you've got Basic 1, Basic 2, and things like that. Those settings are fantastic. You could turn that machine on and detect on those 3 programs alone for 5 years, and I can guarantee you probably wouldn't miss anything that somebody who's suddenly worked out this amazing program would probably find it with the same settings that you've got. It's just people can overcomplicate things, I think, sometimes. The easiest way of detecting is just to switch the machine on, stick it into a factory setting, get out into the fields and enjoy yourself.
I also made the mistake once with I think it was the 705. I'd been on the beach and again, being a simpleton, left it in beach mode and found nothing for months. Good old days, yeah. We learn.
But I think it's right, isn't it, Rick? Sometimes you can just overthink things too much.
So, but yeah.
Who have you got with you there, Rick, anyway?
Huh? Oh,
Who's with
there's
you?
a couple people stopped by. Want to say hi?
Say
everybody?
hello.
Hi.
All the
Hi.
way to England.
Hello.
Hi.
Is that your fan
Nice to
club,
see
Rick?
you both.
But yeah,
They're actually the ones doing the yodeling, aren't they?
yeah, there you go. But yeah. No, but you know what my backup machine is?
Go on.
The XP Works.
There you go.
That's my backup.
That's your backup.
I'm gonna charge. I got to I'm gonna charge that up and play with that. I was gonna play with that in the poop field today.
My backup is a C-Scope 600 series.
Yeah.
1970s machine.
I think I've seen
I
it.
have that.
I think I've
I
seen a
have that
photo of that.
old one. I've
It's
got that
the one-
old one.
It's the one that lovely Alex Savage brought for me at Detectable, as the original one of my dad's was taken.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, so Alex brought it to me, and talk about when Rick's talking about taking his 2 machines to the Detectable and whatnot. I obviously was given a machine that didn't work, and within half an hour, C-Scope had took it into the van and had a fully working, rewired machine, which was fantastic. So,
Oh, brilliant.
if ever there's an issue, Rick, when you do bring your machines over, I'm sure the right people will be there to deal with it.
Yeah. Let me give the dog a treat so he'll leave us alone. He just woke up.
He's chewing on your leg.
Yeah.
So what's next, Rick? What happens next? As soon as lockdown's over, what's the first thing you're gonna do? Where are you gonna go?
I gotta do some serious metal detecting and find some money so I can make it over there for Spring Detectable 2021.
Marvelous.
So
Yeah.
if you no plans to come to the Rodney Cook Rally in September this year, then Rick?
I won't be able to make it. I didn't make enough money.
Oh,
I didn't make.
you gotta go and find
money
more
yet.
gold win.
Because I'd have to be metal detected. I had to metal detect last month, this month, and the next couple months, and I would have made it.
Yeah,
But not metal detecting, I'm not going to be able to make I'm not making any money.
to be honest with you, Rick, we were saying at the beginning of the show, we're not 100% certain. Obviously, with the current situation in the world at the moment, and especially obviously in the UK and all over the world, we're not 100% certain if the rallies will continue to go ahead this year anyway. The major detective all in September, and obviously my dad's memorial rally. We're all keeping our fingers crossed, as we've said before, but we're in the lap of the gods at the moment, and at the end of the day, it's a metal detecting rally, and if people are dying, aren't they? So there's more important things to worry about at the moment than rallies. But it would be good if they could go ahead. But you've got an open invite for next year, Rick, if you want to come over in September next year.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. Come back for September.
And I
gotta hit.
seeing you, my friend.
Some good stuff. It'd be fun.
I certainly look forward to seeing you, Rick.
Can't wait to come back.
Did you like the picture I shared before of you kissing Archie?
Yeah.
Good times. So anyway, it's 9:10. We've took up enough of your time tonight, Mr. Is it Landaker or Landaker?
Landaker.
Landaker. There you go. What was I saying? Landaker. So
and then
I was wrong.
And I found out on that Ancestry.com, I have a cousin in Scotland.
You also found out that you had potentially another sibling.
No, she's my sister. I already knew she was my sister.
Oh, did you? Oh, right.
She's 100% my sister. It was so funny because it was like it popped up on my thing, and then I got an email saying, "You have 100% match of a sister," and I'm like, oh, "No, stop it!"
And it was your sister.
Yeah, it was my sister.
And there's me taking it for real. He fooled me. Anyway, Rick, it's been an absolute delight having you on tonight.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Honestly, you're welcome back anytime. Just give me a shout if you ever want to come back on.
All right.
Share away your videos on the Big Metal Detecting radio and TV show page. You're more than welcome to do that. And
all right, thank you.
Thank you for introducing us to your cocks.
Oh, yep. Glad you liked them.
and the young ladies as well.
Oh, thanks.
It's good to speak to you, Rick.
It's been a pleasure to see you as well, Gary. Oh, he's disappeared.
Yeah. He's gone. Oh,
he's gone.
Yeah, no. I think is he gone? I can't see him anymore.
I think he's got himself.
Yeah, no. It's always a pleasure, Dave. Always a pleasure, mate.
It certainly is. Yeah. And you know, as I said to you on the Facebook Messenger the other day, of all the people I've met metal detecting, there's nobody. Here he is.
No, he's back again.
There's not many people nicer than that man who's just popped up there, Rick. There's not many people nicer than him. And,
thanks, guys.
And I'm sure on behalf of the entire metal detecting community who follow you, Rick, I think I've got to say thank you for entertaining everybody, because your stand-up comedy routines are fantastic.
Yeah. Because I'm not here for I'm not a competition one, like in the States, they get all upset, they think, metal detecting is a competition. I'm not here for competition. I mean, I'm just here for fun and to find stuff. I mean, that's it. And entertainment.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Well,
I
at the end of the day,
appreciate
mate,
the entertainment, Rick. And as I said to you, tonight's show was one of the reasons was to entertain people, because we're all stuck indoors, we're all having a bad time, and people needed a little bit of entertainment, and there's nobody better.
Well, I appreciate that then.
Are you going
Yeah.
red
Thanks,
now,
Bill.
aren't you? You're flushing.
Huh?
You're flushing now, aren't you?
Stop it. I'll just have to just wave myself.
we definitely all need a bit of cheering up at the moment, don't we?
We certainly
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All
Gary, it's been a pleasure having you on as well. Thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Anytime.
Talking about the Memorial Rally and whatnot. And I will now hand over to the capable hands of Mr. Higgins with the outros for this evening. Thank you, everybody, for listening tonight. Don't forget, we do have a special on Sunday night with Aaron Weedle and Tony Eccles. So we're really looking forward to that show. Hopefully, we're going to have one or two people ringing in as well, or not so much ringing in as videoing in.
I know you were.
I've told.
Yeah. I know you were talking about, the paranormal and everything else, bits and pieces. I did actually see a ghost once when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it was. And it wasn't metal detecting related or anything like that. It's where I live. Behind is like a really old medieval drove road, and at the bottom of the road is it's old shepherd houses, and they've been there for donkey's years. And my mum can even remember them being there when she was little. And me and my mate used to muck about up there like you do with your kids in the summer holidays. And it was in the middle of August. It was a baking hot day, and we were just climbing trees and just doing what boys do during the summer holidays, mucking about. When we were just mucking about together, and all of a sudden, this is no word of a lie, and you're going to all think I'm crazy now, but it suddenly went exceptionally cold, and to the point where me and my friend Dave, we were talking to each other, and you could literally see your own breath, and we're talking in the middle of August, and it went bitterly cold, and everything seemed to go quiet, and all of a sudden, from having like a normal summer's day, it was like deathly quiet. And my mate nudged me, like, Gaz, there's a bloke over there. There's a bloke over there looking at us. And we turned over, and we could see this very tall, dark shadow outline of this bloke. And it looked like he was wearing a very big, pointed top hat. And he was just staring at us to the point where we were going to run away. And then literally, it was only a split second. All of a sudden, everything went back to normal. And the birds were singing, and it was a summer's day again, and he disappeared. And to this day, we both talk about it even now. And we still talk about the man in the hat, as we call him. Obviously, no relation to the YouTube man with that. But we still call him the man in the dark figure in the tall hat. And I'm not saying, it might have been something we've been smoking. I don't know.
Well, in 15 years of actually being involved in the active investigation and research, I witnessed that amount.
Zero. Yeah.
Well, I did have a number of peculiar events which we'll talk about on Sunday, I'm sure. But as I said, primarily we're trying to make this show about things that are occurring in the field to archaeologists and metal detectorists, and peculiar events that have took place. So that's what we're trying to achieve anyway. Something a little bit different for a special show.
Yeah. Gary Blackwell's got a very, very good story about strange things. But he'll have to tell you the story himself. I won't stand on his parade. But it involves
Luke to ask him.
It involves a Roman find that he made. It's quite a very, very spooky right up the alley for Sunday's show. As I say, I won't stand on his parade, but he told me the story once about this artifact that he found, and it's an amazing story to hear. It really is. As I say, I'm not going to say anything, so I won't ruin it.
Get on it, Luke. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up. I know Luke's going to be up about 2 o'clock for work, so we'll let him go to bed. I know he didn't get in till late. Again, Rick, it's been an absolute pleasure. Gary, it's been a pleasure too. Thank you
lovely to
both
see you
for coming on, and I'll speak to you both soon, no doubt. So,
Okay.
good night, everyone. Thanks all for tuning in, and we'll speak to you soon. And Rick will
Guess
say...
what I'm going to say next? Bye-bye.
And I went over to show them.
Sorry ass DJ.